Alaska, where there are old triumphs, but also new frontiers, with challenges as great as the state itself, but a belief that the best is yet to come, bringing you the faces, the places, and the spirit of the last frontier. This is Frontiers.
In this week's Frontiers, KTVA is on the road to explore waterways around the Mat-Su Valley. KTVA 11's Heather Hinsey looks at how tour operators are navigating a new way of business to provide easy staycation trips for your family.
For Israel Mahey, there's nothing like spending a day on the water, showing people the beauty of Alaska, and it's even better when the mountain is out. Mahey's Jet Boat Adventures is a big draw for tourists in Talkeetna. While most of his clients have been locals this summer, today Israel is taking out the Lasher family from Indiana, who are in Alaska visiting family in Fairbanks.
All our family members have been on this trip and keep hearing about it every time they come up, so we decided to do it.
Mahey's has made changes to deal with the pandemic and lack of travelers. They're only offering private tours and have sidelined their bigger boats. Israel says staff normally take out up to 200 people a day during a typical summer. This year, they're lucky if they get a couple dozen. For the first time in more than a decade, they're also offering a tour to the Talkeetna Canyon.
This is an amazing trip. I mean, it is so beautiful up here. It's unbelievable. Rock Canyon walls, come out, hang out here by this beautiful creek. I love it.
For a slower paced look at the scenery, Talkeetna River Guides is offering a 2-hour tour. Staff are just getting ready to put their boats in the water for the year.
So right now we're going to start with a really soft opening, weekends only, Friday through Sunday. We're going to be just doing our 2-hour Talkeetna River float trip.
Owner Ashley Casso is asking guests to book 24 hours in advance, and masks are mandatory.
We are requiring it because we, again, want to do what's safest for our employees and for our guests, and that's what all the medical professionals are suggesting to do, so we're going to listen to those guys.
She says it's a little too soon to tell how the season will go.
I mean, I think that everyone is just operating on a much smaller scale.
A drive south on the Parks Highway will bring you to Willow Creek, where Lon Goldbeck offers float sightseeing trips as well as guided fishing charters.
Just spending time out on the river, especially with people that haven't been on it before, and showing them the beauty in the wilderness that's right outside their back door.
On a quiet, cloudy morning, he's headed out with some of his regulars for an all-day trout fishing trip. Just minutes after launching, they've got one on the line. Lon is pretty much operating weekends only and says that's been difficult this summer, especially when the fish are biting.
It's very tough, you know. You got licensing and permits and the cost of doing business, and trying to make that up, it's not easy.
At the Nancy Lake State Recreation Area, Alice Miller is happy her canoe rental business is back open at the South Raleigh Lake Campground, which was closed last year due to the high volume of dead spruce trees.
Yeah, they opened the gates at 8 a.m. and there were people camping here.
Tippy Canoe has about 50 canoes spread out over a half-dozen sites around the area, including the end of Red Shirt Lake Trail.
Not very many people want to carry a boat 3 miles, but the fishing is worth it.
Alice says the rentals make it easy for families that don't have a boat or a way to haul one.
If you drive an eco-friendly car, it's not really an option to put a canoe on top. And we even have folks that come and say, you know, we own our own canoe, but we brought the RV and we didn't want to load it. And so for people like that, or if it's just a spur-of-the-moment thing, it provides a lot of opportunity to do something that might have been difficult without us being here.
They're taking precautions by sanitizing life jackets and paddles in between uses. Alice encourages people to check out what the Nancy Lake area has to offer.
It's that great middle ground between being far enough from town without being in the car for 5 hours for most people, from especially Anchorage area.
Back in Talkeetna, Israel Mahey makes sharp turns on the Talkeetna River, expertly dodging downed trees. The Lasher kids say the trip was like a roller coaster ride.
I had fun, and I want to go again one day. It was feeling like that I was going round and round, and then I got dizzy.
Round and round, and then you got dizzy?
Yeah.
Israel says he has a strong company that will survive the scant summer season. He's one of several tour operators that are open and willing to show Alaskans the waterways in their own backyard. Heather Hinsey, KTVA 11 News.
And we'd like to know, did your family get out on the water this holiday weekend? Share your photos on our KTVA Facebook page. Well, a virtual 4th of July celebration. Straight ahead, we'll show you how people in New York celebrated the holiday. And a peek outside, here's a live look at our tower cam. Meteorologist Aaron Morrison will have a